This is a quick description and introduction of a Kendon standout trailer fitted with a pit bull trailer restraint system. I saw a lot of questions about this on the internet, but very few answers and no really detailed video responses, so I thought I would give a little something back here. The trailer, I believe it's about a 2000 year Kendon standout trailer, single bike. It's pretty old, and I've made some adaptations to it since then. The new trailers are better, but also more expensive. The trailer restraint system is the pit bull trailer restraint system, you can see there. Plenty of information on their webpage about how that works. Let me talk about what I did to adapt it to fit here. First off, the location of the trailer restraint system on your trailer has to be matched to the bike. So I have the front wheel firmly in the chock, and then I matched up the trailer restraint system location to match that. And I had a couple concerns about mounting this. First off, and this is noted by other people, that the base plate, if you simply bolt it to the deck plate provided by Kendon, when you bounce over a bump or whatever, the bike tries to go up, you're going to be pulling up on those screws and diamond plate sheet metal. I didn't like that. I want a little bit more reinforcement. So what I did is I ran a couple of, I believe they're 1.5 inch, maybe 2, maybe 1 inch square tubes underneath the diamond plate. And so the base plate for the trailer restraint system is bolted through the deck plate and then onto these square tubes pulling up. So I've got it locked in nicely, so whatever potholes I hit is not going to pull up and rip out the screws. Also, you can see the Kendon trailer comes with these runners to guide the tire in. The rear deck of the trailer also had a pair of those, and I pulled those off because they got in the way. Then I had to replace the bolts with something else. A little detail when I did that, these screws here, you're going to need to use something very flush. I used buttons heads, because when you pull the trailer restraint on, this bar pulls up, bumps over. If these are something big and clunky like hex heads or socket heads, it'll catch. So you need something smooth so the bike adapter can run over that. These little pieces clip into the base plate, and it was in a really annoying position here just because of the geometry of my bike. This screw hole was right on top of this tube, so I had to do a very thin nut under here to make it all work out. I also had to do some spacers. You can just barely see under here. I have a spacer under here to hold this up. That was to get it over some of the other bolt heads. You can see it better here. So I wound up having to space this up, get it to clear some of the other bolt heads that are in here. Then, because I am Captain Overkill, and I was worried about this rear deck flopping up when I hit a bump, I made a couple of clamps down here, clamping the rear section, the rear deck of the trailer to the front deck, so it cannot pivot up. They just bolt on, so I can unbolt them and I still fold everything up. I went to little Captain Overkill here. You could probably just do this with a few screw type band clamps or something to keep it from popping up, but I have access to manufacturing, so I went this way. In the front, both for anti-theft security and to keep from bouncing up, I do go ahead and lock the front wheel to the trailer. Again, I worry about the bike front end bouncing up. Maybe it wouldn't, but I just like to have it secured because I like my motorcycle, and if I was driving along and it fell off the trailer, I'd be very unhappy. So that's what you have to do. Remove the long runners from the rear deck, bolt down the pit bull base plate, preferably with some kind of reinforcement. Probably best if you tie the rear deck to the front deck such that it won't hinge up. And then the adapter is specific to the bike. Like I also have a Honda VFR, which I carry on this trailer. It's about 4 to 6 inches longer wheelbase than this bike. So I can't carry it with the pit bull in this same position. Overall, I'm very pleased. I've had this up to 75, 80 miles an hour, or probably 75 to 80 miles an hour. Tows of over 200 miles, no trouble at all. Loading and unloading is a very simple one-person affair, and I recommend this combination, but I also recommend that you take steps to make sure that the rear deck cannot bounce up and that the trailer restraint system is not just bolted down to the deck plate. Do something a little more secure. Thank you, and shiny side up.